This is Ed's 67 Mustang Part 2, the rocker panel and floor pan repair work. On our last episode, we went through and found out the issue we had with the floor pans, and as we exposed more information on the body, we found that the rocker panel was obliterated, and the rocker torque box and obviously the rails were in need of repair. So we will continue with the repairs and hopefully we learn a little more. Stay tuned. Cut out the torque box, rocker panel, inner rocker, and because the inner rocker was so rotted out below the seat pan, I decided that I had to cut it out as well. So we cut out part of the seat pan, and what we'll end up doing is we will extend the rocker panel, the inner rocker panel. We will come all the way from the end over and just run it all the way maybe to here, because I think everything else behind here is in pretty good shape. Sounds good, solid. So when I cut here, I'll look in again and see how bad it is. Hope to God I don't have to come all the way further back. So that's the plan. Cut it about right here. Take off the plate, this inner plate, and the outer rocker. And there's the new one, ready to go. Just gotta trim it, cut it down to size, and then get it going, putting this all back together. But it's moving along, All right, we've got the inner rocker out all the way back, and it looks very good here. It's really solid. I think the rust ended up stopping there, although the pan is pretty rotted out, but that's okay. I think I can patch this and put a little splice patch from here to here, and then come back and then attach it with the new pan that's there. So I don't think that's a big deal. I'll cut that rust out and then put a little patch there just to cover it up. But yeah, everything else is ready to go. Starting to size up these panels, and I got one in here. Looks really good. So that's one. Got a torque box ready to go. It fits perfectly. And I'll have to cut up a little bit of that firewall to get that piece in. You notice I've already located the notch where the new rocker panel's going. So up next is to get that rocker panel slid in and cut that one to size and then splice it in. Alright, that's the work for the day. Alright, so we are going to make this infill here. Decided I'm going to take some of this panel that I cut off of that end and just reuse it and fit this in here and splice it in. So that's about right here. And I got these lines here to represent the bend of this drop here. So I'm going to take that, give it a slight bend to it, and then the second line is to bend it back over here. So I'll try to get that, and then once I figure out what, I'm satisfied with the bend, I'll trim this piece right here, and then go ahead and splice it or just overlap them together and see how that fits. I think that's probably as good as it'll get. It's underneath. It's going to be underneath the seat support, so I don't think it's going to need to look all too good, but it'll still work. So The rest of it is already roughed in. I've got those pans cut out, and I'm also, after I get this all laid out and happy with it, then I'm going to go ahead and trim the inner rocker and get that all roughed in, ready to start going. So onward and upward. Alright, so I got the inner rocker cut to length, so that's that bad boy, and it fits right in there. So I used the old one, clamped it back on just to make sure I got the right length, and measured it up. So now I'm about to cut a window out to be able to get into the inside, to be able to weld the back plate, which is this plate here. I need to be able to weld that together with the old one, and you'll see I'm gonna kind of do a offset to help strengthen that joint. I don't want to do a straight cut. So alright, so here we go. We'll be cutting it up, and I'll show you when I'm done. Well, herein lies the problem with using aftermarket parts. This inner rocker panel is not the correct size. So if you measure the height of this panel here, that is about 4¼ inches, you know, the height of that. But the measurement for the original one is 4 inches. So which causes a huge problem in that because of the plate that's here, it's holding the bottom side of the rocker high, which then does not let this top of the rocker align with the new rocker. And that's a problem because as you go through to the end underneath the torque box will now will not allow, well, will not sit right, because it will end up hitting the bottom side of this lip. So that would mean that we'd have to clean this up and notch it and bring it up, which I thought that's what I was going to do originally. But then if you think about it some more, if that rocker is higher than the original alignment, when I go to put in the plastic panel, the kick panel, it will not fit, because I know for a fact that this kick panel is very snug, and then it creates another issue. So after thinking about it and kind of asking some very resourceful people that I know, my cousin who's a body guy, and Barry over at Joe Daddy Garage, which by the way is a great resource, and videos on YouTube are great. I think what I'm doing is cutting out 1/4 inch of material here, leave this top piece, because I think this dimension here is correct. I think that dimension and this dimension line up. So I think it's this part, this bottom piece is too low, and that's what's hitting this bottom pan here, and it won't allow it to line up down here. So what I'll do is cut that, take out all these spot welds, which is ridiculous, 52 of them, and I'm going to end up cutting this, then measuring it and measuring it again to make sure that this dimension is 4 inches, and that's it. Well, that's what happens when you have daughters. Anyway, yeah, so I'll cut that out, take out all those spot welds, and I think what I'll do is I'll set this back plate and get it all lined up, and then see how much I need to get this moved up, re-weld it, and then do a butt weld across the whole face. And what I'm also going to do is build a bunch of stiffener plates that it had originally, by the way, and it didn't come with this piece. So there's stiffener plates that were here and here that were inside the rocker. So I'll go ahead, I think I'm going to do that as well, just to stiffen up, every, maybe 12 inches to help strengthen that, because I cut it up. And I think that should be okay. The consensus that I've been hearing is that it shouldn't be too bad. So I'll try that, and if all else fails, then it looks like I got to buy a new rocker. We'll see. I'll let you know how it goes. But by the way, this is that window that originally I cut out to be able to get to that weld back here. But I guess it's a moot point now because I got to cut it up even more. So, all right, let's see how it goes. All right, done for the day, and I think we got it. So here's what we did here. See if I can get rid of this lamp. All right, so cut the window out of the rocker panel, and as I described before, this rocker panel was too tall and did not fit the original one. This original one was 4 inches tall. This one was 4.5, the new one. And so what I did was, this is the window that I cut out. So this piece, we'll end up welding it back in this place. But you can see I took that line, went all the way across, and took out a 1/4 inch of material to bring the bottom up, because that's what was wrong. The top up here is level, and the bottom had to come up to be level here. See if you can see that. So that's level there. So with that, and then I did a little offset here. This is the original material up here, and this is the new material. So what I did is I offset so that joint isn't all concentrated right here. I offset it, came this way, and so we'll weld all this. All this is available for us. I can go ahead and weld all that filled nicely. And then I'll also put some stiffeners in here. I'll put a stiffener here, one on the center, and one on the edge here. So that'll be 3 stiffeners. And so far looks good. The torque box is basically just roughed in. Wanted to see how it fits. And the top, it's got a little bit of sitting issues down here, but I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. Maybe we just have to trim that out a little bit and adjust that flange. If you come back around here, this torque box fits like a glove. It is perfectly aligned. It's lined up right where it did before. It lines up here nicely. Up here, I guess I clamp it in. I think this is going to work out nice. These are the original 2 spot welds that I took out, so they're right in line. So these are the spot welds that are going across diagonally. You can see there's the upper torque box there, so I can see that. This is all perfectly aligned, just a little bit, and the bottom is really nice, all level. So it is coming along really nice. Really happy with this. So, all right. So it looks like now it's just now a matter of grinding everything down, making sure everything's weldable. Put some paint over everything, and then start welding it all back together. I don't want to cut any more of the paneling, even though they're roughed in already. I don't want to cut them because I want to make sure I get all this framing done, completely done, welded, and then I'll go ahead and put the panels and then resize them to make sure that they're all correct. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good fix, and well, we'll see. All right, time to clean up.
Okay, so this will be the end of part 2. We got a lot of work done, and obviously with these old cars, there's always seems to be surprises lurking in the corner. So we learned a lot. It was a challenge, but I think we got pretty much the bulk of it done. So next episode, part 3, we will focus on getting all the parts welded in, and hopefully we can get this thing turned around pretty quick. All right, stay tuned. Would appreciate your comments, and hit like, and we will follow up with the next one. Thanks for watching.